Welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic. In this video I'm going to show you how to fix an older style Whirlpool, Kenmore or Maytag washing machine that's requiring you to reset to the spin cycle multiple times in order to get all the water out of your clothes. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Alright, so this video is going to be pretty much applicable to a multitude of different washing machines. Basically, if there are any of the older style Whirlpool direct drive washing machines, for example, this is an English washing machine, also made by Whirlpool. Basically, if your washing machine has this sort of timer system on it, this video is going to be applied to you. Basically, what this washing machine is doing is that it's leaving the clothes wet, and so once it finishes the cycle here and comes off, the clothes are still wet, and the people or the person who had it last had to go back and reset it to spin in order to get the clothes completely water free. So majority of that time, the issue with that is the clutch needs to be replaced. Basically, the clutch is slipping and causing the drum not to spin. So I'm going to show you how to replace the clutch on these older style direct drive washing machines. First thing we'll have to do is remove the agitator. Now, some of these machines have an agitator cup for the fabric softener, others don't. All you need to do is just pull up on it to get it off. If you're just a cap like this, just pull it up. Then you'll have this cap on the inside. You have to pull that up as well. And then there's one bolt holding the agitator on. We'll just remove that. So in the next step, I'm going to be removing the outer shell of the washing machine. Now that's not necessary to replace the clutch, but it will make things a little bit easier, and it'll make things easier to see as well, and easier for me to demonstrate. And in order to do that, I'm just going to pop up this panel. Depending on what model you have, the panel pops up in a couple different ways. If you have a Kenmore 70, 80, or 90 series, you'll have to take off a panel right here, and there'll be two hidden screws, one right here and one right here. That'll allow you to pull up this panel right here. If you have a Kenmore 500 or 600 series, you're going to have to get a putty knife and stick it back here and then pull up at the same time. Whereas if you have a any sort of Whirlpool brand or semi-branded like this, it'll just have the screws in the back, like one right there and one on this side that you just have to undo, and it should pop right up. Once you've got your panel flipped up like this, regardless of how you had to do it, go ahead and unplug the lid switch, and then just put a flat blade screwdriver right here and on this other clip right here, and that should pop up those clips, and you should be able to pull off the cover. So like that, and one like this, and just pull the cover right off. From there, we'll carefully put the washer on its back. After that, we'll take the clips for the drain pump off, or undo them, I should say, and you can just set the drain pump aside. Alright, so with the drain pump kind of out of the way right here, we'll go ahead and unclip the motor harness plug. There we go, and take it off the transmission as well. Then we'll just unbolt the transmission. Transmission is just held in by three bolts I should say. 1, 2, and the third one is on this side right there. 3. So after the bolts have been removed, you should be able to just pull the transmission right out, like so. Alright, so this piece right here is the clutch. To take the clutch off, it's quite simple. You just remove this washer, like so. Then there's this clip right here that was just going to pop off with a screwdriver like so. Just like that. And then if we zoom in, we see that there's this clip as well that holds it in. So we're just gonna lift this. So once you've got that clip off or that piece off as well, we should be able to just pull up the entire clutch and this plastic piece as well and replace it. Alright, so this is the replacement clutch right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to this part in this video, so it just pops up at the bottom. It should be happening around now in the video. So all you got to do is click on that link and it'll take you to the exact part, so you don't have to worry about guessing what part it is. But anyways, this is what the replacement clutch looks like. It comes with everything that you need. The biggest thing is you can notice that when you try to push the spring on this clutch, it's impossible to move it, or almost impossible to move it. Well, if you look at the old one, you just push it and it just moves like so. Well, this one has much more resistance, because you'll notice how the difference between how thick those clutch pads are. Here we have them barely visible. Here, well, they're nice and thick. Anyways, let's go ahead and slap this thing on. Installing the clutch is pretty simple. We're just going to put it over the drive shaft to the transmission until it's lined up with the slots down here. Push it into place like so. And then after that, we're going to install this pin right here. First thing you want to do is you just want to clip it into the hole right there and use your flat blade screwdriver to press it in place. And that's probably the hardest part. Then we'll put the clip back on. Like so. And then the thrust washer. There we go, clutch is installed. We're just gonna go slap the transmission back in there. So the trick to installing the transmission is just making sure that this transmission spring is on the opposite side of the basket drive spring or the brake spring right here, and it should go in smoothly. Now if it doesn't, you can always take the motor off the transmission and try it that way as well. The bolt's back on. Then it's time to hook up the drain pump back up again as well. Alright, time to put the agitator back on. Alright, so I've got the washing machine hooked up to my little test station right here. I went ahead and left the cover off and I set it up where I bypassed the lid switch. You don't have to do any of that. This is just for my testing purposes. But the point is that the machine is spinning closed just fine. As you can see, it's spinning away. It's in the spin cycle. Now, this is a pretty heavy load, so with a bad clutch, it would most likely lead for that clutch to slip with a load like this. So if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign.